The most popular and common ones are subclass 189 and 190. Everyone goes for 189,
Yep.
but 190 is a permanent residency, but it is sponsored by state.
You'll have an Australian passport. You might not need visas for so many
So
places.
many countries. It opens up a lot of avenues for you.
Yes,
You do not
true.
have to think twice about certain things.
Your visa can affect job opportunities. Is that true?
If you're trying to find a job while you're on a work visa, that might delay a process. When you are on a student visa, start looking for the opportunities then and there.
Getting a permanent residency, I feel personally, is not an easy thing. How realistic is it to attain a PR after your temporary residency?
It depends on the demand at that financial year.
Okay.
You should be completely aware of, what course you're getting into, how much funding do you require. Your friend has been through that journey and he'll be like, I did this, all of this, you can do the same and you'll be okay. It doesn't work the same every time.
Welcome to another episode of Australia Unfiltered, where we have candid and insightful conversations with people living in Australia. This series is powered by Anka Cookie Co. and Dropout Chaiwala, and we would like to give a special thanks to Aussies Group for this amazing podcast space. Okay, so about today's topic, I'm really excited because it is, should I migrate to Australia? And I know we've shared our experiences, me, Kush, and Nikita, but today we have a professional who is going to be sharing her insights, and we're going to get into the details of visas, immigrations, limitations, conditions. One factor to keep in mind, whatever we say right now, these are just general advices. Each person's case is very specific, so do go to a specialist, but this is general advice that you should know about, and that's why we're talking. And we have Bhoomika with us. Bhoomika is a registered migrant agent who's going to give us all the details and all the bits. Again, remember, this is all in advice. General advice is what I'll say. Don't take it specifically, don't work specifically towards it. But great advice to have and great knowledge to have when you come to Australia, before coming, after coming, being here, everything. Anyway, about Bhoomika. Bhoomika started her Australian journey back in 2016 as a student, and today marks her 8-year anniversary of being in Australia. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And she has been of the migration industry for 5 years. Thank you so much, Bhoomika, for coming here. And, I'm really excited to know so much more. We have spoken about these things, but not from, from an immigration perspective. So let's, I'm going to go dig deep and go directly in the end. Oops, sorry, that's my phone. I should put it on silent. Give me a second. Yep. Anyway, let's dig deep and get into it straight. I'm going to ask you which visa. I'm going to tell you different visa options because these are, I think, 3 main visas in my mind as of now, and based on my knowledge. What do you say these are ideal for? Who are these ideal for? And what factors should people consider when they're considering these factors? So I'm going to say first one is student visa. What's the ideal factors for it?
Student visa depends what age you are in. Like, do you want to study further?
Yep.
You should be aware of all the expenses that it is going to come. What have you studied before and what are your basic interests in future? That leads to a student visa. You must be aware about the whole project, like from the start till the end.
Yep.
Student visa is a process which needs a lot of patience.
Yes.
So that is the key. Hold on to it. Before even you have applied, my first advice is know the whole story.
Yep, true.
Choose your course. Know about it. What course are you going to study? Is that helpful? Is that going to take your career to the next step?
Yep.
Is it aligning with the Australian skill demand?
Yep.
And how do you get a skill assessment out of it?
Yeah,
that's the
true.
biggest thing you should know prior to you doing all of that, because all these questions and answers are going to make a huge difference.
Yes, true.
Because it's not good that you do something and then you feel that no, this was not right for me, I should change some. That's a financial thing you're dealing with, so you should be aware and you should have complete knowledge of it.
100%.
So that's what I think.
No, 100%. And also for the audience, I'm going to say that this is from an immigration agent, but we've also discussed about education in Australia. Do watch it. I'm going to link it up. Second, what is your take on skilled worker visa?
So there are multiple pathways in skill migration. So the most popular and common ones are subclass 189 and 190,
Yep.
which is general skill migration pathway. So in this, you have to get your skill assessment done. You need to have certain points. You need to check if your occupation is in that list or not.
Yep.
What's the medium term long list or the short list, whatever is required. And this is a direct PR. It's a
Yes.
straight PR. So that comes with a lot of advantage. This is not sponsored. 189 specifically is not sponsored by a family member or
Yep.
by an employer.
Yep.
So that's the most thing that everyone goes for 189.
Yep.
But 190 is again a great pathway. It's a permanent residency, but it is sponsored by state.
Yep.
And then we do have 491 as well, subclass 491, which is regional
Yes.
provisional PR. It
Yep.
has its own clauses, but these three are very popular.
These are onshore PRs, right? Or these can also be offshore?
Offshore as well. You are eligible for this from offshore as well. You
Okay.
need to meet certain requirements as it is,
Yep.
and then you apply. So the first step, it's called expression of interest. So you
Yep.
apply, and you are eligible to apply from onshore or offshore. You
Yep.
just have to check this. Let's say you're going for a 190 or 491. You have to check the state requirements first. You need
Yep.
to study. Maybe some state they are not looking for offshore applicants. We don't
Yep.
know. But 189 is for everyone.
189 is for
It's
everyone.
for everyone. Yes. So
Okay.
you can be anywhere.
And you mentioned about the skill list. Where can people do it? Do they just type in Google skill list Australia and then it comes up? Or
So it's called Australian Occupation List, which is very much available on Home Affairs website,
Okay.
Department of Home Affairs. It's given all the subclasses, everything is mentioned there, in a very neat and clean language. Everyone can understand that, and they have links to go further. Okay, if I'm selecting this, then this is my occupation, this is what my visa options are, and then of course you can write it down, note it down, and go to a professional to take a proper advice.
Yeah.
But yes, that list is there on department's website.
also another thing is what I've noticed based on my friends getting PR visas is that you need to be very quick with all of these things. The list keep on changing, right?
Not the list, it's the demand that keeps on changing. So, for
Oh,
example,
okay.
this year it's more about engineers and construction workers. It all depends what Australian skill demand is. So every year it's not possible to be the same thing every year.
Yep.
So it keeps on changing. So you have to make sure that you are aware about the changes. I always say every 6 months go to a professional and take your update. Even though if you're not eligible right now, it's always better to know what is coming up, what further changes are coming up, so that you can align your journey with it.
Okay.
And then quick when you say quick, it is okay when you have completed your study, do not wait for the next step, just do it.
Yeah.
You know about it, and if you're eligible, let's say for a subclass 485, you have completed your study in subclass 485, apply
What is
for it.
subclass 485?
It's a work visa in
Okay.
a simple term. So
Yeah.
post-graduation work visa, that is
Yes.
almost
Temporary
when you study.
residency.
Yeah, it's a temporary residency.
Yes.
Yes. So it's a work visa, which
Yes.
it is from 18 months to 4 years, depending upon your qualification.
Yeah.
So work visa is the time when you go for your experience. Whatever you have studied, you now use that, and based on that, be quick on getting things sorted, like for a skill assessment, your English score, whatever is needed for the next step. Be aware and then do the needful on time.
Yes,
I'd
for
say.
sure.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think as a general person who does not have that, I feel quickness is good because I know some of my friends who weren't quick enough. They got their permanent residency and visas and everything, but it got delayed, and literally till the end moment, they just pulled from the student to TR, they pulled every thread to delay it as much so that they would live more time in Australia. Whereas I'm a very rule-abiding person. I'm like, okay, time done. I will do it this time. So I got my permanent residency like a year before them nearly, and they've just got it. So I feel that it should be quick. Doesn't mean right now, but in that
Anyways,
week,
you have to do it.
In that week,
So
just do it.
Do it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah,
Yeah, because changes are, that can happen. But then you do not wait till then. You know that you have to go through that step. Just do it.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just do it. But obviously research and then
course, yes.
research, find the right person and get professional help, and then do it. Then also a lot of people have been bringing their families. So what kind of visa? But I've also heard it's very difficult to bring families. It's not like an easy process. Today you applied and tomorrow your family is there.
Oh, it's a lengthy process. It depends what visa are we talking about. Let's say we are talking about a partner visa or a parent visa. It is an expensive process and it is a time-taking process as well. But let's say you are a student and if you just want your parents to visit you on a visitor visa, that can be a bit quick process, not that expensive as well. But if you are a permanent resident or a citizen, and if you actually want your partner to be here, your parents here for a longer time, yes, you have to plan the budget, and it does take a lot of time. When I say lot of time, few months, couple of months, it can take more than that depending on what kind of documentation you have provided and all. But yes, it is
Oh,
process. Yeah.
I've heard that parents, I'm talking about when I'm talking about family, is that parents, it takes like 5 years for them to get approved, if you, like to get them to citizenship. Like they can come here for a 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 1 year kind of a span. But if they want to live permanently, that is long.
Yes, it's expensive and it is a long process. So there are certain visas which can take up to 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, 15
Should they
years.
get old?
I know that's there, but then yes, it's a slow process, I would say.
Oh, okay. And you said expensive. Is there an average ballpark, like you'd say between this to this number?
Specifically, there are multiple subclasses, and every subclass has their own expense. But there is one with $50,000 fee as well. So it leads to a permanent residency. It's a lengthy process, but in general, the fee can be up to 50,000 and more added cost.
Yeah.
So that's
But it can
how
also start from 5,000 to 50,000.
yes, it can. Yes, it
Okay.
depends what
Yeah.
kind of visa you're looking for your parents and what timeline you're looking for, how many days or months or years of stay you want, depending on that.
Yeah, true. It's I feel any visa process in this country, even be it student visa, like I can say from my experience when I came as a student, first you have to give IELTS and then you have to
Medical examination.
medical examination.
And the visa fee at that time when I came, it was somewhere around 550 or something. Now it's almost $1,600.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's so expensive. And I find this personally, you might not want to agree because you're from that profession, but I felt IELTS is, why does it expire? It's just my question.
Yes, I know that. I know it doesn't
How can
make
your
sense.
English expire?
I know. That is there. So I have studied from here. I have done my masters.
Exactly.
Then I did my graduate diploma in migration law as well. And to get my registration, then I had to give my IELTS as well, my
Yes.
IELTS academics. And after ages, I went there. And I was just thinking, I have studied here. I have studied my degree, and why do I need that? But that is how it is. You need to fulfill those requirements.
Yes.
And for skill visa pathways, there are points with your English level. So it does make a difference when you're going for a skill level
Yep.
process, then you
Yep.
need to go through that.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And people, as we're going into this topic, we're talking how expensive it is, the price. What is the real cost of migrating, be it a student, skilled worker? Let's forget family for now, but student and skilled worker. Let's start with student first. What's the cost? Maybe don't give me a number, but what all is included? IELTS?
IELTS is there. First of all is your course fee.
Yes, course fee.
Depending what kind of course you're going to study, if it's a bachelor's, it's a master's, it's a PhD level course, what kind of course you're going to study, what kind of university are you getting into, it all depends with that first. What is going to be your annual fee?
Yes.
And then once your fee is sorted, then you need to have certain funds for your living expenses. You need to meet your living expenses as well, which is roughly $24,000. So you should be having that much. Then your health insurance cost,
Yeah.
which is again a cost, and then student visa fee.
Yes.
And if if your spouse is added with your application, then added cost for that partner as well.
Yes.
That person has to go through medicals, you have to pay visa fee for that person, and then living expenses. So it is a lot of money, and I always feel that you should know the whole math.
Yes.
Before you get into it, so that
Yeah.
there can be an unexpected cost as well. Let's say you are asked to get your medicals done again, or your fees with the university somehow that has changed.
Yeah.
So you should be prepared for overall. So it is a expensive process, I would
It is
say.
an expensive process.
But it is worth if you have chosen the right pathway.
Yes,
I'm
true.
sure. Yeah.
No, I agree. It's super expensive. I know people who worked part-time and tried to remove their expenses, but I would just, on that also, I'd say the economy is really bad and getting part-times also has become more difficult
It's
at this
very
point of time.
competitive, yes.
Yeah, it's very competitive. But if you get a part-time job, you can cover yourself.
Exactly.
Not
Not
the
the fees.
not the
Fee,
fees,
not
not the
not the university fee, of course not.
Yeah.
And then if you're going into that means you're not able to focus on your studies, which should be your main goal.
Exactly, that's
and
why
then
you came.
working extra hours and not meeting, and then in case you fail an exam, you're paying for that again.
Yeah.
So that's an added cost.
Yeah.
So working is fine part-time. That's why you have 24 hours per week
Yeah.
of work, right? That is to help you to cover your basic cost.
Yeah.
And that's why you show your living expenses before you apply for the visa, that okay, I'm you have that much of funding
Yeah.
to support yourselves, and then do part-time jobs to just help with your miscellaneous expenses.
Yeah, true. I agree. Also, I've heard of stories, and at Humans of Australia only, I'm going to say I have heard of stories where people have said that they came to Australia with, or New Zealand or these places with just like $1,000 or $500 in their pocket, but they managed to get their education and all of these things, sorted. Is that possible? Probably they took a smaller university, not one of the bigger names.
So as I said that you need to show your funding beforehand.
Yeah.
So that means you already have that
Yes.
plan.
Yes.
So that's how you cover your fee. So for example, I paid for my 1 year fee. So that your 1 year, at least your education fee is covered.
Yes.
You have to take care of your rent and everything, which you use. For that, you use your living expenses that you've shown before.
Yes.
So that's how you manage. And
Okay.
added, whatever you're earning for your part-time, you have other so many costs as well. So that
Exactly.
helps with your part-time
Yeah.
jobs.
Also, another mention that's illegal to work more than 24 hours, right?
Yes, it can lead to a visa cancellation.
Yes.
You should never do that. You are allowed to work full time during your summer break or holidays, when university is officially giving you the letters as well that yes, you are allowed to work. You're not studying at that time. Use that time
Yeah.
to work full time, but not otherwise. That definitely can lead to a visa cancellation, which can impact all of what you have done till now and your future applications as well. So not
Yes.
suggestible.
Yeah, true, not suggestible. And also don't forget your goal that you've come here for
Exactly.
education.
Yes.
Yeah, true. And then the other migration cost is of skilled workers.
Skilled workers, so there are two types. So let's say general skill migration, you're going for your permanent residency straight on point based system, which is subclass 189. But if you have an employer who is sponsoring you, which is called sponsored visas, like for subclass 482 or other things, so
Yep.
in that there's a good support from the employer.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
they are paying
They are
for
paying
your
it.
all the process. Visa fee you can take care, but the every other thing they are doing that. So it's a good visa subclass, I would say, if your skill is in demand and if your employer is cooperating enough and you think that is more, you're going to work in that stream anyway, so just go for it. Know about it, of course, know the whole story about how you become eligible, what is the employer's obligation, what is your obligation to fulfill the requirements. And if that
How do you
works, then-
become aware of it? Like, is there again a website?
Yes, everything is there on Departments of Home Affairs website. Every subclass, you'll basic eligibility. They have a step-by-step tab as well. Each step is pretty much explained in detail. Of course, that is some extent, some limited.
Yep.
That's how you have a professional to debug all those things.
Yeah.
To understand legally what is required, but for a basic information, yes, everything is there on Department of Home website.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also for the other visa that you said, which is not sponsored, there's a lot of additional cost as well, not just the fee for putting the expression of interest.
Skill assessment, one cost. It depends which is your skill assessment body.
Yes.
Every body, they have their own expenses.
Yes.
Major cost. English.
Yes.
Let's say you got your score in the first attempt.
Yes.
Great. If
Yeah.
not, again. So that is somewhere, if I'm not very sure, but $450 or something for each time. So each time paying that, let's say you need 8 in each. You
Yes.
get 8 in 3 and 7 in 1. You have to do that again.
Yes, it is
So
a very close call. Forget,
exactly, very
like
close call.
7, you might get 7.8 or something, and
But
yet
it
you're
doesn't.
gone.
You
Yeah.
need 8. So
Yeah.
that is one cost, and then
Yeah.
medical is one cost, and then police clearance is another added cost.
Yes, yes.
You need Australian police check, and most of the cases you need overseas where you have
Wherever,
spent
yeah.
12 months and more. You need that as well. So that takes time, and that is an added cost. So yeah, it is. And then visa fee for general skill migration as well. It's somewhere around 4,700 approximately.
Yeah.
And then same, almost. If you're going for a PR or skill migration, that is the average cost that you're paying for the visa for one person.
Yes.
If you have dependents, there's an added cost.
Yeah, true. I've also, regional visa. People have got a lot, like direct migration offshore. They've come directly on regional visa, and regional as in Adelaide, like South Australia.
Completed. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's completely regional.
Yes, it's completely regional.
Maybe it can be a subclass 491, which is a regional visa, and lot of offshore.
It's also
applications.
state-sponsored visa,
It is
but that
it is a state-sponsored visa. You get 15 points from state in your EOI for that, and they do. You have to, of course, put your EOI. They look at your background and all of that, and if you're invited, you are allowed to be in that regional area for 5 years, and then you can, after, you have to meet certain requirement that you should be living there for 3 years working, and the only thing is you must be living and working in a regional area for the whole period.
Yes.
That's one thing where offshore migrants sometimes they face difficulties. Let's say Adelaide is still fine, but if you're coming to Victoria, city is like Melbourne, right? But then if you go to regional area, maybe you'll not find your choice of profession there. So that is just one
You have
thing.
to work also in regional.
Yes, you have to work, and everything. You have to study, work, and live in a regional area for all that time frame.
It's not
and
like you can live in regional but work somewhere else.
You have to do everything in a regional area, and then that leads to PR, which is subclass 191, or depending on your previous visa, that leads to a PR. Once you get your PR, then it's okay. You can be living anywhere.
Oh, okay, interesting. There's so many complications, and you're saying all of this, but I know it's so difficult because I myself got my permanent residency. There's so much to go through, and you don't because I do not belong from a migration background. I just had an agent who did it for me. That made so much more sense. It made it easier. The person. There are ways also that if you write your EOI also, right?
It does matter.
And the agent
right information.
Yeah.
Very important. So it is not that, okay, I'll fill that tomorrow. Maybe you'll forget that tomorrow. So I always say, if you're doing it, do it in one go.
Yeah.
Just complete that. Do not leave anything, and do not put any false information that, okay, for now I'm giving my PT tomorrow, but for now I know I'll get 80, so I'll put that now.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Do it when you're getting the score. It's okay to wait one more day than putting any false information. So it does matter how are you preparing your application as a whole.
Have you seen anyone's visa getting cancelled because they put false information, or they're getting deported, or whatever happening?
Visa refusals as well, and visa cancellations as well. So visa refusal, the very common visa refusal that I see is for subclass 485, the work visa. It's a very simple
temporary
visa.
Residency.
Temporary residency.
That's such a simple visa.
So the common mistake that I say is, okay, I'll apply today my visa, and I'll provide my PT tomorrow. I'll provide a payment receipt today that I have booked my exam for tomorrow, and it's okay, I'll apply today, and then once I get my score tomorrow, I'll do that. No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So every visa, there's a specific requirement what goes with the application.
Yes.
So in subclass 485, your English score goes with your application.
Okay.
You cannot do that, I'll do it today, and you can't.
Yeah.
You can have a visa refused based on that simple thing.
Yeah.
Like, and then Australian police check. Okay, I'll apply later on. No, you have to apply before that. You can attach a receipt and then provide the outcome later on, but you have to do it before you apply for the visa.
Yes.
So that's a very simple 485 where you can, small
I'm shocked
mistakes.
people get refused for 485.
We did an application long back where a 485 was refused based on that. It was a lot of work. We were able to get his 485 granted due to we had some of the things done, and then it was granted, and I'm so happy for that client.
Yeah.
But then that happens. That's a general thing that you should.
That's such a basic visa. That is a very basic visa.
So think about general skill migration. When you're going for a PR, you can't risk it. Every information matters. Your correct information matters a lot.
Yeah, true. Oh my God, that is... when it comes to permanent residency, I was like, I know people have done it themselves, no doubt, but I was like, I don't want to risk it.
I always say that it's okay if you do not want to hire an agent or a lawyer. You still go to them, check everything. You can ask them to review your applications. You can sit and have a detailed discussion of all the steps. I'm sure they will be happy to do that. And once you have your complete information, go for it. Why not? But have complete information. Know everything about it. Just do not rely on your friends and family. Okay, that person has done, so maybe I'll do the similar way. Every application is different. Every case is different.
Yeah, and it's such a legal matter. And when you want to make sure that you don't want to get deported or leave the country, just get a refusal.
Yeah, exactly. You have invested so much till now. It's just one more step.
Yeah, one more step. You have invested thousands of dollars. Not even like hundreds.
No, thousands. Yes.
Yeah, thousands of dollars. If you have to invest to talk to a migration agent for like few hundreds of dollars, I feel it is expensive, but it's worth it.
Yes.
It's worth it because if you get a refusal, then again pay and again do everything. It's worse.
It's tiring and emotionally very tiring as well.
Yes, agreed. Also, how can immigrants or migrants financially prepare, themselves for all of these things? Is there a way where they can calculate, for pay calculation? There's a
Visa
website.
fee calculator, yes.
There is a visa fee.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so if you go to Home Affairs website, there is a visa fee calculator given. So you can add what kind of visa you are trying to apply, how many dependents are you going to have, everything, and it does give you a very good
Average.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So you at least you know what is going to be your visa cost, and then added cost, skill assessment, and police clearances. Everything is provided on their websites.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's there.
Oh, nice, interesting. So people can actually check, and
Yes.
all visa kinds, it's be it
Every visa.
student or
Yes, every
skilled or
visa is there.
family.
Yes.
Okay, so Home Affairs does provide most of the insights. Okay, interesting. Now let's get to jobs, because lots of people, we're talking about students and skilled migration and stuff like that. But a lot of people end up coming in, they're like, yeah, I'm getting a visa to study. I'll figure out the rest. People forget that figure out the rest is not the case. There is so much that you need to think before you come. And getting a permanent residency, I feel personally, is not an easy thing in Australia or any country, be it like you leave your country, it's not easy. So, how does your job, what are few considerations first students should consider for their future? And then I'll ask you a follow-up question as well.
For students, of course, we are coming to a new country. Things are different here.
Yeah.
Language is one thing, and when you do not have a local experience, it can affect a lot.
Yes, true.
Right? So, employers usually they will recommend someone who is having a local experience than you. So I always say that if time allows you, go for internships, go for maybe a volunteer work or something. Do take part-time jobs wherever you are able to, and then try to excel and learn every day. That definitely helps. And networking,
Yes.
big factor when you are first time in your university does I have seen in my university as well, there were supportive classes and people coming in. That is there, use all of that.
Yes,
Your
true.
university is doing so much for all those things. Use that, go do attend those seminars that do help. And networking, friends, family, everyone, spread a word that you're looking for something and just grab the opportunity.
Yeah, true. Also on that, students don't realize that maybe your visa can affect job opportunities. Is that true?
For example, students, because you have part-time work rights, maybe there is an professional jobs. Usually, let's say you're looking something in IT or those kind of jobs, they do prefer full-time work rights. That is one drawback definitely if you're having a part-time right.
Yeah.
But then still,
After that,
yes,
temporary
after
residency,
that,
when
you have full work rights. Even in summer holidays, you have full work rights, so you can have that opportunity. And work visa is the time when you have full work rights, so use that. But and if you're trying to find a job while you're on a work visa, that might delay a process. When you are on a student visa, start looking for the opportunities then and there. Go into internships, volunteer works or whatever, and then use your work visa to gain as much as experience as possible. Maybe that can help your PR application as well.
Yes, for sure. And also, I feel personally is that people who have, even though they have temporary residency and they're full working rights, a lot of people in Australia don't understand visa things. So maybe it can sometimes be a drawback, but if you communicate, network, and do all of this, that can change. But it can be a thing which you need to be aware of. Like, just be warning. It's not like it is a mandate, but it's a warning that people don't understand these
Australian
PR.
employers usually, they never had to do anything with their visa process, so they may not understand, okay, why do you need. I have seen sometimes, not force, just unknowingly, they do ask, okay, I'll pay you cash and you just work extra. Don't do that. That's not the right way. You have proper work rights, just go with it. Try to explain your employer, maybe show your visa copy, because in your visa copy your work rights is very, very clearly mentioned in the second, third page. Show them. It's a very simple language, so I'm sure they'll understand. But do not just do it over time or anything, just they're forcing, or if you just want to meet all your expenses in one go. So,
true. And also sometimes employers, where they get stuck is, oh, you're only here for 2 years, They're like, we rather hire someone, you leave in 1 year, if only 1 year is left on your temporary residency, like
Yeah.
you're only here for 1 year, then what?
That's the time when you explain that, see, I'm a student right now and I'll be eligible for
No,
my...
this is when they're on TR, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is there. Yes, of course, that I have
Yeah,
seen
that
many
is a
times.
risk.
That is a risk. Yes,
Yeah.
that again depends how potential you are in your experience and how good your employer is to support you and all. But
Yeah.
that is something, yes, because now after 485 there are restrictions to go on another visa or stuff. So you have to figure out everything while you are on a 485. There are options.
Yes.
PR is one of the options if you're meeting the requirements. Yes, but yes, work that can
Yeah.
affect.
Is there a way for students to stand out in applications, or there's no, that's on universities on how they select?
No, it does affect your percentage in your last degree.
Okay, your
Whatever. Yeah,
academics.
academics, yeah, it does matter.
Okay.
What kind of English level you are holding right now.
Okay.
Your score does affect, and what kind of fundings you have. And there's a factor of GT, general, genuine temporary entrant. So how aware are you about your plans? So
Okay.
let's say you're having an interview with the university till your admission process, and they're asking you questions about the course that you want to study, and you have no clue.
Yes.
Although you have a good academic, you have good English, but you have no clue of what you're going to study. You just think that, okay, I'll figure out then when I come there. It doesn't work like that. You should be completely aware of, what course you're getting into, how much funding do you require. They ask for a lot of things. You should be prepared for it. It should
Okay.
not be just half-filled information that, okay, I know this much, and it's not like that.
Okay.
As a person, when they're interviewing you, you should be prepared with everything.
Okay, so
that
they
makes you
just,
stand out.
yes. Okay, those are some key factors. Like I feel students also take care of this, and those are some good key factors. It's not like bad key factors.
It is about you.
Yeah, it is
They're
about
asking
you.
about you.
Yeah.
What do you want to
Yeah.
achieve? What do you want to do? If they're asking you, okay, what's your career plan? And you have no clue.
Yeah.
You'll be like, okay, I'll see when I do.
Yeah.
That's not how it is. You should know your complete pathway.
Yeah, and true. You need to have a good bank, like bank savings,
fundings to show that,
funding
okay,
is the right word.
yeah, so
yeah,
you
because it
need
is
to show-
expensive.
It is
Yes.
so living expense and then university fee, you should be prepared with that.
Yes.
Because when you're here and then you're struggling with your expenses, you struggle with everything, your emotional things, your studies, your exam, everything is going to get affected.
Yes, true.
So funding is the basic part. That's what universities and when you apply for the visa, you have to provide that,
Yeah.
okay, what kind of savings or fundings you have to back yourself up when you're here.
Yeah.
So that is one part.
Okay, fine. Amazing. We've spoken about students, we've spoken about skill migration, one of which was, they come on direct PR, but there's a different kind where your employer sponsors you. That time you're not a permanent resident, right?
No. So let's say it's a subclass 482 employed sponsored visa. It's a temporary skill shortage visa,
Yeah.
you can say. So it depends. It can be for 2 years, 4 years, depending on your skills. You get that, but you do have pathways for PR after that. It is not restricted that you are coming on that visa and you have to go back. It is not always like that. It depends what your experience is, what kind of experience, and it is aligning with the Australian demands or not. You do have PR pathways based on your current temporary work visa.
Okay, and on that point only, how realistic is it to attain a PR after your temporary residency? Or one that you mentioned, this you have covered, but after your temporary residency, how realistic it is? We can go by different professions if you want to go, like we'd say skill profession, creative professions, and other professions.
First of all, it depends on the demand at that financial year.
Okay.
So let's say you have graduated and now you're on a work visa and now you want to plan your PR journey. First thing is your skill assessment. You need to figure out how are you going to get a skill assessment. For example, we take IT courses, right? ICT. So their basic requirement to get a skill assessment is professional year. Either do a 1 year professional year program or a 1 year full-time, part-time job in your nominated occupation.
But you have to do PY also,
It's optional.
Right? Oh, it's optional.
So it's PY is not mandatory.
Okay.
You have option. Either do a PY or have a full-time or a part-time skilled job in your nominated occupation. Let's say your outcome is a business analyst. So you must have a job in that area.
Yeah.
And once you complete 1 year, then you apply for a skill assessment. So let's say you have 2 years of TR. 1 year is just gone in that.
Yep.
So next year, you should be already prepared with your steps. Your English should be done. Whatever point is needed, you should be prepared with that.
Yep.
That is how you plan your PR journey. You just do not, okay, my TR is just 2-3 months and now that I plan, that is not how it goes. So you should be, because there are added costs to every other thing.
Yep,
So
true.
that is, it's not hard. I won't say it is hard. It is you doing the right things on right time, not at
Yes.
the very end moment.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But what I also mean is it realistic to attain a PR? Like, what's the percentage ratio of TR to PR? Do you have an idea?
Yeah, it is definitely, you are given that option. It is possible. It is when you act on it. If you
It's
have,
very difficult. I know people have to go back, like they
yeah,
acted on it, but they didn't get it.
it depends on a lot of things. So points is one of the factor. Let's say the basic requirement, if you're going for a 189, the basic requirement is 65 points.
Yeah.
But someone in your field has 95 points. Of course, that person is going to get selected first. So if you have done everything to get your points to the higher level, and if I have done just the bare minimum,
Yeah.
there's a competition to it. So it is, I won't say it is not possible. It is very much possible. I have students who got their PR in just one first year of their work visa.
Okay.
That is of course possible. It depends on your qualification, your skill assessment pathway, and all other factors. And when you act on it, that's the biggest question.
Okay.
If you try to figure out the very end that, okay, now I want to know what is, and then let's say you have to do your PY program and it's only 6 months left.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah,
So you lost your chance.
Yeah, but also, you said the point system. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I got my PR in marketing, okay? And that is one shocking field, is what I feel. But I didn't have too many. I had 75 points. And people say it's on point system. I'm like, I don't know. Is it point system with 75? I got it.
So you got your 190, I believe. Or a 189. I think it was a 190. So
Maybe.
the same thing happened to me. So there was a round just yesterday. So there's a girl, she's a very cute girl. So she's a marketing specialist.
Yep.
So she got an invitation from Victoria that
Yes.
you're invited for your nomination. And she sent me that email and she's like, see, someone is doing a prank with me. This is not true. She could not believe that she has, I think, 85 points or something. She has a proper job working. But she's like, this is not possible. This is not me. Just check. Who is pranking with me? I'm like, no one is doing a joke with you. This is real. And she was over the moon. So it depends. So if you're going for a subclass 189, it's mostly about points. But if you're going for a 190, there are a lot of other factors to it. Points is one. So bare minimum, you need 65 points.
Okay.
But other thing is, are you employed in your occupation? How much are you earning? What kind of level of a role are you doing? What is your English level?
Okay.
So these all becomes the factor. So when you talk about 190 or 491, it's not all about points. There are
Okay.
other factors to it.
Okay. Points is important, 65.
It is.
And then, but other factors are also important.
Definitely, it does affect. If you have a superior English, it does affect. If you have a very good job, if you're having a good annual income, it does affect. All of those things does matter. For example, I have 85 points, but I'm not employed in my role. Let's say I'm not even working, and I have basic 6 each or 7 each, just that. But you, on the other hand, you have 65 points, but you have a great job. You've been working from 2 years. You have superior English. You will be the first priority, of course. It is on that. It's not all about points.
Okay, it makes sense. But also to give, I feel people get scared hearing that English exam. Just to say PTE is not that difficult compared to IELTS. I feel personally, even though my English is really good, I've studied in English, all of it, everything's been in English. I've never done an IELTS in Australia, but I feel PT is easier compared to IELTS in Australia, and to get a good score comparatively.
And it's quick as well, I think, because you do everything in one day. And unlike IELTS, I think you have to book your speaking, and then
I don't know how it works.
The results come in late as well. So IELTS, it's been ages that I gave an exam. But then what I have heard from students,
did you get PT or IELTS?
I gave IELTS.
In Australia?
No, I gave in Australia as well for my registration for my license.
Okay.
And back home also I gave IELTS, because at that time there was no PT, and for my registration IELTS is the requirement. So I have given PT long back for my accounting skill assessment. I needed 7 but it's a long back. But then now, because I hear a lot from students, everyone's first preference is usually PT.
Yes.
It's quick, and nowadays I think the results are out in same day sometimes.
Same day, at least in the same week.
Same week. You don't have to wait for,
you don't have to wait forever. I have no idea how IELTS work, but don't get too scared. PT is manageable if you know. you've come here to study, you've given your education in this country, so you will
You
have
have cleared your
basic,
exams.
yeah, you have cleared your exam,
Yeah.
so you will have basic English knowledge. So it is a possibility to get a good enough score in your PT.
Yep.
Yeah, so don't get scared like, oh my gosh, English exam so high and everything. People get scared. It's
And
a
you
step.
have given your, I'm sure most of us give an English exam anyways for our student visas.
Yeah.
So you have been through that once. So
Yeah.
the second time is not a big issue.
Yeah, true. You know what point system got me thinking? NAATI. Is it an
Yes.
important thing? Is it included? Because I was hearing rumors that NAATI is not going to be included and all of these things. Is it true?
As of now, there is no such news that it is not. You do, so there's two aspects, NAATI and CCL.
I don't. What is CCL?
It's a credential language exam. So there are two parts to it,
Okay.
NAATI and CCL. So if you do NAATI, you do get 5 points, but you also become a translator.
Okay.
So that's the advantage from it. But if you're only looking for points, CCL is another point. You
Okay.
can apply for CCL. Same pattern is a bit different, as I know, but then same points. If you're after points, you can go for NAATI or CCL. CCL is more quicker, I think, and then you get 5 points from that. But there's no, I'm not aware of any of that news that it is being removed or anything. You
I
still
don't know. I
get
was
5
hearing
points.
rumors that
And
it's
as
going to
of
be
now-
removed. Don't give
Oh,
it
there are a
NAATI.
lot of rumors.
Yeah.
Sometimes students come to me like, I have heard about this news and like, I do this work every day. I haven't heard it. What is your source?
Yep. Okay. No. I think it's just like, someone once said it, and this is such a sensitive topic
It
that it
is.
just spreads like fire.
And everyone has their own version.
Yeah,
So
by
at
the
end
10th
it becomes,
person,
yeah, it
each
becomes something
100%,
else.
it's something
Yeah.
else only. But also NAATI, I don't know about CCL, but NAATI you can do in any language, right?
CCL as well. You can do any
Okay.
of the languages.
Any regional,
Yes.
any language, whatever you want.
You can.
Okay.
You should be confident in that with your exams. You can.
And I've heard this because a friend of mine was giving NAATI, is people make, I can only speak for Hindi because I know Hindi, and a friend of mine is giving in Hindi. Few people were scaring me. I've never given NAATI, I never wanted to. I can speak Hindi, but I speak English.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We do not speak a pure language.
Yeah, sorry. For the viewers, English is Hindi plus English.
Yeah.
Just in case, yeah.
So one of my friend went for this exam long back, and he had a question of what is airport called in Hindi. I had no clue. I never thought about it. What is airport called? I still don't remember.
I think some Vahan.
Patti or something like that. I'm not
I have
sure.
no idea.
But this is the level. When you're giving Hindi, it's Hindi proper. It's not English, as you said.
But then she told me, because she's giving a NAATI very recent, she's like, it's till the time you can translate, doesn't have to be like airport or hospital, you have to totally convert into Hindi. You can say, because everyone speaks, like they know basic.
They don't.
Apparently,
if we do speak Hindi,
yeah.
I'm not going to speak airport in Hindi. I'm not going to do.
Who even knows it these days?
I know.
Even our parents or grandparents wouldn't know.
It's been ages when we wrote something in Hindi.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm so sure even our grandparents wouldn't know an airport in Hindi. That's like...
So my grandmother, she's 102.
Yeah.
She has no idea about English. She has not even studied in her age. But she she knows some of the words. And like plastic. It's an English term. But
Yeah.
she says plastic like she is known from forever. So everyone does that.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not
so
there.
sure your grandmom also wouldn't know what airport is in Hindi.
But that is how she says. Okay,
Exactly.
you're coming from airport, but she doesn't know what Hindi.
Yeah.
That's the word, yeah. So-
Everyone uses that way, and that's what they said. That's what she said. I don't know how true it is or whatever the case. Because few people said you have to be proper language you have to speak. You can't use anything. Where she said you can, till the time you communicate this sentence without, you don't have to like convert these big hi-fi sentences. I don't know if, do you have any idea?
I know I didn't had to do this.
Okay.
But then because I have many of my clients doing this and my sister is also going through that process. So I've heard that, of course you need some professional to guide you on that.
Yep.
But how hard it is, what I know, it's not that difficult.
Yep.
A basic 1 month of training or something, because you just have to refresh your own language a bit
Yep.
more, and I'm sure you can do it. But
Yep.
it's a good 5 points thing. So if you're looking to increase your points, this is a good avenue.
Are there anything else, to increase points except NAATI, PT, or all of these things? Like, I heard this CSL, whatever, what did you say?
CCL.
CCL. I heard this
It's
CCL.
one part, NAATI
Yeah.
and CCL, so you can do either.
I heard, for the first time I've heard about this thing.
So yeah, it's CCL that you can do. Apart from that, your PY does give you 5
For
points.
example, PY is for IT people, but
Yeah.
non-IT people, like I'm marketing, creative background. I did a skill assessment. Skill assessment done, NAATI done, English exam done. Is there anything
For 1
else?
year, you get 5 points as well for your skilled employment. In Australia, if you worked for 1 year, you get 5 points. So that
Yes.
is one another point.
Also, age, after some particular age, you get some
So
points.
till for 32, from 25 to 32, you get 30 points.
Okay.
After that, it starts decreasing. So after that, to a certain age, you get 25 points, and then it decreases again. But the ideal, when everyone is that in that age, when we have graduated till 32, you still get 30 points.
And before 25, you said 25.
25 points.
25. Okay, 5 points.
5 points, yes.
Okay, 5 points has gone away. Oh, interesting. When I applied for my visa, I wasn't 25 yet. So I
Okay.
had 5 points less also. I don't know.
That's the reason you're on 75 points, maybe.
I
Because
was
age is something you can't do anything.
Yeah, God's grace. I literally didn't believe it. Like I got that invite, or I would actually get it. When my agent messaged me, I'm like, what do you mean? Your visa is granted. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, what visa? Which visa are we talking about here? I was so shocked. But
It's a very emotional journey again, you have invested so much and then you're doing so much, and there is no surety every time.
yeah.
You just hope that you have done everything right, what the best you could do. And
True. It's not just about the money investment. It's like you move to a new country,
time is
settle
also-
to a new
yeah.
country, and
away
at the-
from your parents, family, everyone trying to
Yeah.
build your own life.
And then suddenly you're like, shit, I have to go back. I have to do this. I have to do that. You don't know. Should I
panic.
pack my bags? Should I not pack my bags?
Should I move to another state?
Exactly.
That's another big
move
question.
to regional, move to this, and it's like you're uprooting again, going and starting all
not
from
easy.
scratch. It's really not easy. And visa is a very complicated process.
Yes.
Everyone doesn't get a visa. That is for sure. Like, what's the conversion rate from a temporary resident person to a PR? Are there numbers? Are there stats?
There are stats on Home Affairs website. You can always look that. Then whenever there is an invitation round, they do publish the
What
numbers.
is right now the
I can't comment on the conversion rate as such.
okay?
But then for this year, construction workers, let's say, this is the golden time for them.
Okay.
So it depends on the skill, what
Okay.
skill is required each year. So it depends on that. But then I won't say there is that of course there are limited seats. So when there are seats, they can only be invited to that much.
Yes.
So if you're lucky and if you have done everything right, you have maximum point. That's the best you can do.
Yeah,
There's
true.
nothing else. So
Yeah.
you just have to wait.
I think with the student cap, another benefit is
Less competition, a bit less competition.
Comparatively, less competition. So more people coming as students will get the potential to be a permanent resident.
Yeah.
Also, one second. Let me see if I'm missing out anything. We've spoken about okay, what risks do visa holders have, like as a permanent resident or whatever, like as in what risk should they avoid is what I meant to say. Like what are the limitations, what are the compliances that they should take care of?
Your visa condition is very important.
Yep.
One must be aware of what visa conditions they hold. Let's say you're a student or a TR or a permanent resident. You must abide by the rules and regulations, and you must read your visa conditions and be with it. For example, students working extra hours, big no. That leads to refusal or cancellations later on.
Yep.
Your character grounds, very important.
Yes.
Whatever visa you hold, if you're failing a character requirement, you are in trouble.
Yes.
So that is very important. You are in a country, you should respect the culture and the environment what this country is giving you. So if you go something against it, or you're creating a problem for your fellow people, then it does bring you the risk of getting cancelled, of getting the visa refused. This is not that you can just do anything and you'll be saved.
Yep.
It is not that like that. So it's very important to abide by the rules and look after your visa conditions. They're always mentioned on your visa approvals that you get. So do read them, and if you're not understanding that, take a professional advice, but do abide by that.
Yeah, true. And this also brings me to my last question is, what are the benefits what are the difference between the benefits of a permanent resident and the citizen what are the benefits that a PR holder and a citizen holds, once you get your permanent residency and citizenship, what benefits does a person get?
First is you have done your journey.
Yeah.
Your students,
What a relief.
Yeah, what a relief. So that part is done. So now you have all the liberty to do like let's say you were into some profession and now you want to start a business and invest something up, and you have whole everything for you. So you do not have to worry about going back or doing anything. You have full time and full work rights, full study rights. Loan is a bit easier for you. Let's say
Yes.
you're going for a home, you want to start a family.
Any kind
Medicare,
of loan. Medicare is a big thing.
privilege, right? So you
Yes.
do get that. And then work factor, you are trying to apply for a job and every time they're asking for a PR, now you're a PR.
Yeah, you can apply for so
Yes,
many more
so
jobs.
many more jobs.
Yes,
It opens up a lot of avenues for you when you're a PR.
Yes.
So definitely there are certain privileges to it. Yeah.
And then I'd say with the citizenship, I'm just going to add this. We were discussing this earlier. You'll have an Australian passport. You might not need visas for so many
So
places.
many countries, yes.
Yeah,
You just apply for a e-visa and just be there. Working
Exactly.
holiday visas for you to different countries.
Exactly.
Every visa does have a lot of, pros, lots of pros. I don't think so there is a con in having a PR or a citizenship.
Yep.
But it opens up a lot of avenues for you.
Yes,
You do not
true.
have to think twice about certain things.
Yes,
So, yeah.
true. And then I think one thing that you get, I don't know if it's whatever the pro advantage, but as a citizen, not a permanent resident, but as a citizen, you have voting rights. I don't know if this is important to people.
For citizens, yes.
Yeah, for citizens, they have voting rights. I think rest all is the same except passport and
Yeah,
voting
it's-
rights. Rest all is same
Yeah,
for PR
let's
and
say
citizen.
certain government jobs, if you're trying to apply,
Government jobs,
they
yeah.
do prefer citizens.
Okay.
Yeah, and then voting rights is must. If you're living in your community and you are interested in having someone from your background or whatever,
Yep.
citizenship gives
Yeah.
you that right of voting. So that
True.
is, yeah.
And even if you want to be a government official,
Why not? Yes.
you need
Yeah.
to be a citizen. But that is fair, a citizen of the country should be representing a part of the
Exactly.
country. True. Also, is it easy to progress from your permanent residency to a citizenship?
It is, yes. You just need to meet certain requirements before you can apply for a citizenship. Those are not that critical or points based or anything. Just some living requirement that you must be living in Australia for certain time, and once you meet that, and for that there is a calculator as well on
Okay.
department's website. So citizenship calculator. So you can go there. You can it'll ask you for certain dates, and you can see that okay, on this date I'll be eligible to be a citizen. Very handy.
Oh, I need to check.
You can of
I
course
wanna
that
check.
is one thing you can use, and then based on that to apply for a citizenship, general documents, of course, your police clearance and all of those things. But it's right now
Again?
again they can ask for that again.
Thank
Yes,
God
one
no.
last time maybe.
Well, thank God they won't ask for IELTS or PT.
Oh,
this
they
time.
won't.
Yeah.
Of course they won't this time.
Yes. Okay.
then, yeah.
So, but it is a possibility. You just need some living criteria.
Living criteria, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are pros and cons to everything that you want to do. Maybe for some countries, if you take a citizenship of Australia, you would have to give up your passport also. This is a thing. Yeah.
Yes. So for example, for India,
Is there any other country except India that they have to give their passport?
I am not aware,
Okay.
but I am aware about India that you need to have OCI and all those things. But because it depends which country is allowing dual citizenship.
Yes, true.
So, for example, India doesn't. So we have to give up our Indian passport and have the Australian passport.
Yeah,
It depends which country passport you hold.
Yeah, because I know someone, they have like a dual passport. Germany, they're from Europe, parts of Europe and Germany and this thing. So they have an English, like a UK passport. And then there's someone, Australian passport. Then I knew someone who has a German passport and an Australian passport.
It depends which country you're from.
Yeah, true.
What your other countries' requirements are based on that.
It's the policy, not legal, but I'd say governmental policy.
Government requirements.
Yeah, it's the government policies that countries have between each other. So it's on that. That's it from mine. Is there anything else that you would like to add as an immigrant or people who are watching this that they should be aware of, be it students, skilled workers, or families that they're looking for visas?
I highly recommend taking professional advice or doing your own research. Not relying on just friends who are. There are cases when your friend has been through that journey and he'll be like, I did this, all of this, you can do the same and you'll be okay. It doesn't work the same every time. No two cases are similar.
Yes, true.
It's okay to take advices, but just do not rely 100% on them. So I highly recommend taking professional advice. Do it on your own if you want. That's not a problem, but know everything about it. Just do not rely on Facebook blogs and status and all of those things. Sometimes when I look at the Facebook groups, my mind just, I'm amazed by the kind of advice people are giving. They're not the professionals, but they have a lot to say, which is sometimes not 100% true, and that can cause you a lot. one wrong advice can cause you a lot. The example of the 485 refusals.
Yes.
So that was from a friend that he got that, okay, that's fine, you can attach your PTE later. The visa got refused. Now
Yeah.
you are the one who is in trouble.
Yes, true.
And getting your visa again and going through that again, the process, it's
It also
very
costs
hectic.
money.
Every step has a lot of money.
Yes.
So my advice every time is, know the complete facts, know everything about it before you jump on applying for a visa. It's always better to have the professional advice and let the application be done by a professional. If
Yeah.
not, that's okay. It's always better to know everything. Departments of Home Affairs website is very handy, they have everything.
Yeah.
But do not miss on anything. They have, sometimes it's very small one line, but it is an important line.
Yeah,
So yeah.
true. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. That was really insightful, and I hope it really helps the audience. Again, I'm just going to say this is all general advice. Go to a professional if you want to do your research, as Bhoomika said earlier. Now we're going to get to the fun stuff. So we have a rapid fire round, and you are the only person, so you're going to win the Anchor Cookie Co hamper.
Okay.
But let's start it. I want some spicy answers, good answers. Maybe if I don't like them, I'll keep them for myself.
Okay, no problem.
No, I'm kidding. Okay, let's start. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Tea, okay. Most overrated thing about Australia?
Coffee. No, I should not say that.
Coffee.
No,
Such good coffee.
yeah, they have. I mean, I'm a big fan of dirty chai these days. I
Okay.
never knew this existed.
Yeah, even I don't know.
But yeah,
What is a dirty chai? Because everyone doesn't know what a dirty chai is. Can you tell our audience what dirty chai?
Recently did, so it's a mix of chai and coffee. Oh, it's an amazing flavor. I never knew about this, and I'm sure we don't. I'm not sure if we have this in India or not. This is where I got to learn from Melbourne that we have dirty chai, and I'm a big fan of dirty chai now.
Yes.
So I won't say coffee is overrated. Definitely not. I'm not sure. I have no idea what's overrated.
Okay. You're doing really bad as of now.
At the start, yes.
Okay, what's the most underrated thing about Australia?
People are so nice and just deal. I mean, I have seen that we just say that, okay, we have racism, and it's not always the case.
Yeah, true.
People are genuinely very helpful here in Australia, and I don't think so we regard them as much.
Yep.
I have seen really great people. When I came, I was just doing Uber Eats delivery.
Okay.
I never had any issues, and I was the only girl on that street who was doing this, and everyone treated me so nicely. I was new to them. So that is one thing I feel, that people are really nice here, and we should regard them for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say it is out of, I have this podcast as well about racism. We've discussed, out of 365 days, there might be 2 days, or let's take a max of 10 days where you might face it. And if you face it every day, then you're in a very toxic place.
Environment, yes,
Yeah, toxic environment, change your environment. That shouldn't be the case at all. We're not disregarding if there is, but you have had a great experience, and there are people who are nice, 100%.
It's sometimes on people what they are going through, right? It's no one is. I'm
yeah.
It's not always.
Yeah, it's
there
not
on the-
always.
It's not
yeah,
always.
It's
there,
not
yes.
always. I completely agree. Okay, for 24 hours, if you could make something for $1, what would it be?
Oh, for $1, I can make anything.
Anything.
I can maybe another home near a beach.
Okay, so homes for 24 hours for $1. I think everyone go crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone be like, yeah, give me all the homes possible.
Of course.
But that's a great answer. I like that. What is, if you could eat one thing for all your life, not a cuisine, a dish, what would it be?
Oh my god, cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
I know it's weird. So everyone in my family, my friends, everyone, cauliflower is something you can mix it with anything. I'll eat it.
Okay.
I'm just big fan. I just love cauliflower.
You're the first person who I met who said they're a fan of cauliflower.
I am. So in my office, I had colleagues who needed my help. Let's say in something, they only have to offer me a good gobi ki sabji like that, and and maybe anything that has to do with cauliflower. I'll do anything for you. It's like that.
Wow.
I know, weird, but this is.
You know what? This is way too much, but I hate taking cauliflower curry, just to give like an English thing there, in my lunchbox or anything, because when you open a box of cauliflower, it smells like farts.
I know.
I'm not kidding. It smells like farts.
If it is there for a long time, and it is. But then My choice. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's
that's
weird.
completely fine.
Yeah, but that is one thing.
Yeah, my partner hates cauliflower. I don't mind
love
it. I like it, but not forever. One
I
thing.
add cauliflower in my Maggie, in rice.
Oh my God,
But
leave.
I know. That's yeah. Everyone knows me with cauliflowers.
Oh, okay, wow. What is a migration myth?
Migration myth that it's a very simple process, and visa conditions is something you do not have to take seriously. It is a
Okay.
myth. You have to take your visa conditions very seriously. It is, maybe you have, once you have done something and you're not caught, it doesn't mean that it is not, it is a serious matter.
Yeah.
So that's something I've seen people taking it very casually. Do not.
Yeah. Also, I think maybe I could add on this is people with professional like IT or really skilled, like even construction workers. You said it's in demand, but if you don't do it properly, you're not going to get
No
it. Like
point, no point,
people
yes.
have like, oh, I'm IT, I'll get a PR.
No,
oh,
it is
I'm
not like that.
construction worker,
No,
I'll get
no,
a PR.
no. You have to prove yourself. You have to
Yes.
be in there. So
Yeah, true. That's also like a big myth that
Yes.
you're a particular profession, you are 100% guaranteed
No,
to
don't
get
take
PR.
that okay, I'm a nurse. It's easy for me. I'll get it. You just do not, just because you're a nurse, you'll not get it.
Yeah.
You have to work towards it. That's how
Yeah.
you get it.
True. Okay. Last question. 3 local businesses in Australia that you think should be viral. Can be online, could be cafe, could be food, anything. Clothing, anything.
I love going to cafes.
Okay.
So there's a beautiful cafe in Kubar, Ohe Cafe.
What is it called?
Ohe.
Oh, hey.
It's very nice. It's
Okay.
very pretty. I think they need more recognition that they're having.
Okay.
And apart from that, there are I don't know particular names, but there are very small businesses running from garage.
Okay.
Right. So in my area, I have seen barbers, and then having very cute setup in their garages. So they must be having some support, maybe online or something, and they can. But then particularly this Oh Hey Cafe is my favorite. Who needs more recognition.
Okay.
And apart from two, there are many, but in particular, I don't have general names.
Is there any like jewelry brand or clothing brand or bags or anything else?
I don't shop that much, so maybe I'm not.
You're not the right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not the right person for this question.
Okay, no worries at all. That's it for our rapid fire round. Though I'd say you didn't perform well, but this hamper is yours.
Thank you.
No worries at all. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, Bhoomika. It was truly candid and it was truly unfiltered.
Thank you so much for having me. And what you're doing, as I said, I'm a big fan already. It's not easy, and you have been through this process already, PR and you've been a student once and doing this. So I would say everyone who's listening, this is what you do. You chase your profession, you do the right things, and you do get what you want. Like you're doing it.
Yeah.
So you're doing a great job.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and that's a wrap.